Hey there, my name is Z.W. Buckley. I'm a composer, music producer, and Ableton certified trainer, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are talking about the pack Mood Reel, which is included with Ableton Live Suite. Now this is in no way, shape, or form a sponsored video, but I realized that I talk a ton about getting the most out of the stock plugins and devices that are included in Ableton Live, and I haven't really touched on packs. And I think hands down that Mood Reel is the best pack that is included with Ableton Live Suite, and I want to demonstrate that for you today. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So let me go ahead and play this track for you in its entirety. It's about 2.5 minutes, but feel free to jump around or skip ahead in the chapters if you would like. But every single thing that you are about to hear is entirely 100% just Mood Reel. Awesome. Okay, so let's actually just start right where we left off with the drums, because I think the drums are such a particularly awesome example of what makes this pack really special. And Mood Reel, it focuses definitely on cinematic, atmospheric type of music. And with cinematic music, sometimes instead of melody, you really want to focus on timbre, texture, and a sense of motion to it. And what excels at creating that is hybrid sounds, by which I mean sounds that really blend digital and acoustic. Let's take a look at example with this Glacier Tundra kit. The whole kit is built with these various processed Foley sounds. And I'm using them to create this really nice moving texture underneath some of the less busy sections of the track. It adds such nice movement and interesting sonic character. Now you also have percussion that's entirely automated, which this Doc Lands chase is entirely where we're actually getting our kick. And if we expand it out, we can see it's not a drum rack in any way, shape, or form. It is an instance of operator where we have each of the various oscillators or operators within operator serving a different function. And so when we get a little bit later in the track, I'm pitching it around to help follow the harmony, but we're still maintaining this cool percussive element. With a pack like Mood Reel, something that I want to point out that really matters is automation, because all of these sounds have various timbres that they can achieve, but you can only really create motion and texture through automating these sounds and instruments. Honestly, these drums are such a prime example of it. I went through and created this arpeggiated pattern that moves through the various wave shapes within this Docklands Chase operator rack, and it adds life. And I'm adding automation like that across the instruments. In fact, this metric instrument, which is one of the arpeggiated instruments in the pack, is such a great example of that. Sticking with Arps for a moment, let's just quickly listen to another example that I have here, which is Glitterbox, and it is such a great instrument as well. In this B section here, the little arps that come in at the end of a section that help to transition into the repeating of the phrase is exactly this instrument. And it really comes through here then when we go back to the A theme. So it's this really nice layering of both a pad sound and the ARP. And let's actually jump to the pads, because this pack has super great pads as well, because again, it is this focus on texture, timbre, emotion, and movement. And they're pads that really cut through but don't draw attention to themselves. Like in the A section, this foggy pad undergirds everything. And that ghost on tape doubles up with what the bass line is doing to help add body. And in the B section, this Danikeel pad just completely is the thing that carries us into it. Now let's talk quickly about some of the melodic instruments as well. Because when Mood Reel does embrace acoustic instruments, it does so in a really interesting way. Like the instrument that I'm heavily featuring is this bansuri, which is, pretty acoustic in nature. And it sounds really good, but I'm layering it with this mystic whistle instrument, also from the same pack, that brings us into this really otherworldly territory. As well as in this oscillations lead, which is primarily just a synth lead, and I'll just solo the lead groups here to create this fat, layered melodic moment. Again, it feels acoustic, but it feels layered. And that really becomes super pronounced here at the end, where I'm adding two additional instruments that are synthetic in nature. They're not actually both evolving states. One is evolving states, and the other is the piano drop lead, to create this big melody section that also has this nice little call and response going on. just another quick example of the hybrid stuff. These cello harmonics and the brass ensemble here, I love so much. I really like using them for transitional effects. And so I'm building this big brass chord, and then these ringing cello harmonics come in as well. Finally, let's just wrap with a quick look at the keys here. The piano features right at the beginning, and it is just like such a good piano. And it's full of texture. And then I've got this ceramic melodies that is doing this nice polyrhythmic thing here. That just layers super nicely. Now, the final note that I'm going to leave you on is that the real value in packs like these are breaking down what's happening with the instrument and actually popping open these racks, because this pack is easily made by some of the best sound designers that Ableton have worked with. Truly, some of the most important sound design education that I have had has been combing through these racks to learn how they are built. So take some time, work with them, and have fun with this pack. It's so good. Nobody asked me to make this video, but I wanted to make this video because I love it so much. So hopefully this gives you a taste for Mood Reel, and I hope that you're excited to start exploring and incorporating it into your own work. It really is some of the most sophisticated and advanced sound design I have seen around, and it is just such an easy way to instantly lend polish to your tracks. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. I'm working really hard to grow this channel to 50,000 subscribers by the end of 2026, and it's your support entirely that makes it possible. If you want to take a step further in helping to sustain the channel, consider joining my Patreon. I have 2 tiers for you. Again, thanks for watching, and till next time.